When to present to you. So, let me show my screen.
Excellent.
Screen, there you go. Right, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So this is my evaluation presentation. Okay, so my FMP is about a spy who has to steal some gems and avoid a guard. Unspotted, the guard will chase you, and if they get through, they won't hesitate to kill and acquire all. To acquire all the gems, you have to open a vault through a keypad in a different room. Up top, I have some videos of me moving around the map and dying to the enemy to showcase the death animation and how that works. Video of the player moving around the map and completing the objective, and also a showcase of the art I have done. These videos show majority of my game and what I've done for FMP during development of my FMP. I made changes either by removing features such as car mechanic and making a little less puzzles. My FMP is focusing on art, not gameplay. Problem solving. Problems I face were my HUD not moving with my player and AI getting stuck in walls. The issue with the HUD was resolved rather quickly by first setting the player to the center of the screen every tick. This idea was brought up by someone on Construct forum page. Did not help as it stopped me from moving. It just completely stopped me from moving. I couldn't move at all anywhere. So I continued on setting out to find a new solution to get the HUD to move with the player without stopping the player from moving, and without HUD moving quite erratically. I resolved the issue a simple way by having the HUD just pinned to the player rather than have it set its position to the player every tick. Simple, but I don't know why I didn't think of it to begin with. Always got to overcomplicate things. Up here is a link to the problem I was having with my HUD, and we just showing that. The infamous AI issue. This is an issue I've been having since the start, and I've tried many things to fix it. The issues just keep coming back over and over again, no matter what I've tried. Basically, the AI will try to find a player in a waypoints, then for no clear reason just get stuck inside a wall and not be able to leave. So big issue is it takes away the only difficulty you have with my game. I changed the cell border and cell size to the guard follow, but nothing seemed to work. Tom and I spoke about it and came to the conclusion that I should rework my whole layout as AI was having such a difficult time navigating his way around. So that's what I did, and however this time I stuck to a 32 by 32 grid and made sure not to put walls so close and make the pathways so tight. That way the AI had an easy time pathfinding into its waypoints and easier time following the player. Seemed to have fixed it, but not long after the issues came back, and it still happens now with me finding no solution so far. The best thing I can think of is just remaking the AI, but in a different way using functions and such. And there's a picture of the AI stuck in a wall, annoyingly. Audience feedback. On the first place list of my game by my audience, I received feedback that was positive for the most part, with comments such as HUD looks great minimap, and fake lighting worked amazingly. It's fun and challenging. The shadows and the blood effects are really cool. This was really good to hear as it showed me I was on the right path of what my audience likes, but then I asked the question, what do you dislike about my game? The responses I got were boring, not too much besides run away from the one enemy. It gets very boring and repetitive after a while, as all you can do is constantly run from the enemy. And text at the beginning is hard to read, and the guards bug out at the beginning and get stuck. A few questions I asked my audience, and a few other questions I asked to my audience were about my HUD design and what they prefer more. The results I got heavily leaned the HUD design one with an 80% pick. All the feedback I received heavily affected my game and changes I've made. The design I chose was HUD 1, but slightly changed it to be more appealing. I had a second AI to make the game more enjoyable, as then you have two enemies instead of one, which is more difficult too. I had an objective for the player to complete, which made the game yet again less boring, and then changed a few minor things like the text at the beginning to be more readable. I didn't only make changes to the comments on what they disliked, but I added more blood effects and amplified what was already there and liked in my game. I had an issue with all the things that had been commented on. The main one being the AI getting stuck sometimes, is what we spoke about before. After these changes were made, I took out another server in which all the responses were all positive, which told me I met expectations of what people wanted in my game, with responses such as looks lit. I liked the simplicity of the game paired with the art and had a good amount of detail. And down there you can see the responses from both some of them, of both the first game and the first playthrough and the second playthrough. Valuation and reflection. Overall, I'm really happy with what I have been able to achieve my project in the time I have, and think doing this FMP has taught me a lot when it comes to developing the game itself and creating art for it. The most important things to me that I have learned is about color palettes. Before going to the FMP, I didn't really color. I'd work in grayscale for things, and if I did use color, I'd use too many and not the right ones either. Also, in doing this, it taught me how to blend them well too. This is something that will help me a lot in the future, as I'd like to take my art further, which means understanding color and how to blend them is vital. Doing this FMP has pushed me that bit closer to being able to do colored drawings and animations effectively. My biggest challenge throughout the FMP has definitely been the AI issues of it getting stuck in the walls, and another issue I had was the scaling of my minimap in comparison to my layout. That I tried to resolve using scripting and/or art techniques. And another thing that went unsolved that I know how to, I would do it though. I'd do it basically by changing the dimensions of my layout. So it's now both on a 1-to-1 scale, so it can actually fit in there. I would have done this, but due to time constraints, the project I have not. I think that overall with this project, I have achieved my aims and created both an effective, appealing HUD and created a mini-map and health bar that work too within that mini-map. Yeah. Or no, HUD, sorry. If I was to do this again, I'd definitely change some things, that being how much I give myself to do. I think I gave myself a bit too much for me to take on and doing this time frame we had. Although I did do it, I think next time it would be better to reduce how much work I put in front of me and focus on making what I want it best. For example, this project I focused on games development just as much as I did art development. If I'd taken less time on developing my game, I think my art would have, which was my core focus to begin with, would have been a bit better. I can't complain too much, so I'm really happy with it, with the way it has turned out. And that is my valuation presentation.
Cool, excellent. Thank you very much, Dylan. Is your game on itch?
It is, yes.
Cool. Can we take a look at some of those videos that you've mentioned there, so you can show us the
Sure.
the type of things you were telling us about? And just talk us through sort of what's happening, what those videos are showcasing. Okay, you've only got sort of 2 more minutes left on your time, but
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so this one is just my character running around and showing off the map and sort of things about it, like that button, and then dying to the enemy. Oh, if you look at the top left as well, you can see the AI at the bottom left has got stuck just for no reason. So yeah, that's my played iron.
yeah, excellent.
This one is just completing the objective. I'll skip the first bit because we've already seen that.
So what is the objective in the game, Dylan? What are you being? What is the objective?
If 25.
Just
If
talk us
you
through it while you're playing through the video. It's fine. We haven't got
Okay.
too much time, but yeah, just quickly.
Well, at the beginning, basically, you've got text saying what you need to do. It says you need to acquire the gems.
Yep.
You can find these gems at the gold mark at the bottom right on your mini map. And so you look at the mini map, you go to the gold mark, find that the vault is locked and you can't get in. And then you have to find a way to open it. And then
Cool.
if you stumble across that, happen to walk into it, you'll find a way to open it.
Good stuff. Right, well done, Dylan. I will talk to you properly on Tuesday. I'll give you all your proper feedback and stuff like that then. Have you looked at the hand-in on Teams today?
I have not, no.
Cool. There is a hand-in. Go through it, checklist style, okay? Make sure you've got everything for each bit. If you have, you'll be fine. If not, it needs to be there, all right? So
Yep.
just make sure you're going through that. Well done. I'll talk to you properly on the Tuesday, all right?
Yep.
Take care. Make sure you don't miss that hand-in. Go on.
One last question. So it says on the calendar that we're cancelled for today. Does that mean once we've handed it in, we can go do what we want, really? Or like, is the rest of the day cancelled? Because it says on the calendar we are.
Yeah, you're not in today, so get that stuff handed in and then think you should still be working through lesson time though, Dylan. The hand-in's still not until the hand-in for the whole project's not until next Friday. So I would expect you still to be working through lesson time. If you're handing in early, I'll have to mark it like you're not there. Does that make sense? So make sure you're still working through stuff in your reflection where you're like, I could do more of this, I could do more of this. That's the type of stuff to be adding. Okay, so if you get everything done, hand in list fine, and you've still got some lesson time left, use a bit more of that time. All right.
All right.
Cool. Excellent. Right. Take care, Dylan. I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Bye.